Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Jai. Shri Gauranithai ki Jai. Samaveda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Caitanya Caritamrita ki Jai. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. We welcome you all for this discussion on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Last week we discussed about, or rather we concluded the instructions of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Rupa Goswami, Rupa Siksha. And as we were discussing, I thought since Snana Yatra is going to come in exactly a month, I think end of June is Snana Yatra, I thought it will be a good time for us to remember Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime in Jagannath Puri. So today we will start on the 10th chapter of Madhya Lila in Caitanya Caritamrita. So just to give you an overview about how the different chapters are actually presented in Caitanya Caritamrita, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, Mahaprabhu performed his manifested Leela for 48 years. Of these 48 years, 24 years he spent in Navadvip. And he took sannyas when he was 24. So after leaving Navadvipa, for the remaining 24 years, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent 18 years in Jagannath Puri. And the final 6 years, it's the other way around. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent 6 years traveling all around India, especially South India. All the way, he goes to Western India, retraces back, comes back to Jagannath Puri. He had also traveled to Vrindavan, Kashi, Prayag. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spends 6 years traveling this way as a traveling mendicant. And the final 18 years, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in Jagannath Puri. So this is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's manifested Leela is presented. So coming to Caitanya Caritamrita, it has 3 sections: Adi Leela, Madhya Leela and Antya Leela. Adi Leela covers Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela in the first 24 years. In other words, Adi Leela speaks about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Navadvip Dham. Madhya Leela starts from when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu leaves Mayapur Navadvip Dham and goes to Puri. And then Madhya Leela also covers Mahaprabhu's travels to different places as well as Mahaprabhu's Leela in Jagannath Puri. And it extends in Antya Leela also. You will see it like that. So this chapter 10, is starting at a point when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had just completed his South Indian tour and he is returning back to Jagannath Puri. That's how this chapter starts, just to set you the context. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he traveled with a servant by name Kala Krishna Das. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finishes his tour, he retraces back the exact same path he had taken originally, meeting the same Vaishnavas or people who were not Vaishnavas but who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because of his association, met them as Vaishnavas. He retraces back, comes back, meets Ramananda Roy in Andhra Pradesh, and then Ramananda Roy, much to the delight of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, tells him that he had already taken permission from his king, Prataparudra, and he would meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the next few days. He says, after 7-8 days, I would come back. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu welcomes Ramananda Roy to meet him in Jagannath Puri. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returns back to Jagannath Puri. When he is on the outskirts of Jagannath Puri, he sends his servant Kala Krishna Das to go and inform all the Vaishnavas about his arrival. So Kala Krishna Das runs ahead, and then he informs Nityananda Prabhu, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and all the other Vaishnavas. Immediately as soon as they listen or hear the news, they jump up and they start running towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, ready to welcome him. And that is the scene. How this 10th chapter of Madhya Leela starts. Previously, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had left for South Indian tour, at that time king of Jagannath Puri, his name is Prataparudra Maharaj. Prataparudra asks Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is one of Prataparudra's ministers, you can say. He is a Brahmana. He is a Brahminical authority in the assembly of King Prataparudra. So he asks him, "Oh Sarvabhauma, I have heard that there is a great saintly person who had come from Bengal. Can you please tell me about him? I also heard that he is very, very merciful. I would like to take his darshan. I want to get an audience from him." So this is his request. To which Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, he is a very, very strong, staunch sannyasi. And because you are a king, to get an audience from somebody who is very strict, to not meet anyone from material background, is very hard. Still we will try. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was asked by Prataparudra Maharaj that, why did he leave Puri? I heard he arrived in Puri, but then why did he leave? How can you let him go? To which Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, well, he is Supreme Lord. He can do whatever he likes. Swarat. Swarat means one who is totally independent. Janmadiyasya attonvayad itaratas charteshu abhigya swarat. This is the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam that says Krishna is totally independent. He can do whatever he likes. We are doing bhakti, trying to invoke the blessings and mercy, wanting to get attention of the supreme divine couple Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. But just because we are practicing bhakti, there is no obligation from Krishna's side to respond. Krishna is still independent. He may take us seriously, may not take us seriously. It doesn't matter. But devotee's mood is always, my Lord, yata tata va vitata tu lampato, mat prana natastu saivanapara. I will, no matter whether you make me broken-hearted by not being present before me, or you give me a tight embrace, doesn't matter. I'm still going to always be surrendered unto you. So in this way, devotees worship the Lord, but the Lord is independent. Even though the Lord is also bound by the love. One of Lord's name is Baddhahari. Baddhahari means even though we are known as Baddhajivas, conditioned souls, we have the tendency to fall down. So we are known as Nitya Baddha. Eternally we have the tendency. And then we have pure devotees who are known as Nitya Siddha. They never fall down. They appear in this world simply to reclaim back all the fallen souls like us. Like we have Srila Prabhupada, all the Acharyas. They are all eternally liberated souls, Nitya Siddhas. So we should not mistake our spiritual masters' position and our position to be the same. They are here to reclaim us. We are here because of our fallen condition. They come down by their choice. We come down because we were forced to. That's the big difference. So when Supreme Lord, when He comes, He is Swarat, totally independent. Nevertheless, He is also addressed by the name Baddhahari, one who is bound in Damodar Leela. Krishna is also bound, but unlike us, bound by the three modes of material nature, Krishna is bound by Prema Vashyata. He is bound by the rope of love of His devotees. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says that Supreme Lord is independent, so He may go wherever He likes, He may deliver whoever He likes. But we will try to get His audience for you. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya also takes this opportunity to request the king, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has now come back to Puri, he would be staying here. Can you please arrange for a nice residence for him nearby to the temple? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would want to spend more time at Jagannath Puri temple. So when this request was put forth, the king immediately sanctions or approves the use of Kashi Mishra's home, which is very next to the temple. And he says his home is very next to the temple. At the same time, it's a little secluded with gardens there, so others won't disturb. That will be a very ideal place for him. So then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya happily agrees to that idea. So devotees, because they have been eagerly waiting for so many years, 6 years, waiting for the audience of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And finally they get to see him. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya comes and introduces some of the devotees who haven't gotten into the personal association, that personal circle of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, my Lord, these devotees, they are like Chataka Pakshis. Chataka Pakshi means it's a bird. Prabhupada would always explain about the nature of Hamsa or swans. When water is mixed with milk, the swan, they have an ability to separate milk alone. Take only the milk, leave the water and go. Prabhupada says these are birds in mode of goodness. Prabhupada says crows, they are birds in mode of ignorance. Likewise, among trees also, there are trees in mode of goodness, passion and ignorance. All fruit of flower-bearing trees, they are in goodness. Thorny bushes, mode of ignorance. So likewise, there is one type of bird known as Chataka. Chataka Pakshi, it has a very unique quality. It would drink not bottled water, it would drink fresh water that comes straight from the cloud. Once it touches the ground, it won't drink that also. Very high class birds. So these birds, they just wait whenever the clouds would come, assemble together, hoping that the rain would come. Until that point, even if the whole world is like a parched desert, still they would patiently wait. It would pain them, still they would wait. And when the clouds start to come, they won't even wait, they start to fly towards the clouds, and as the water actually falls, it drinks. This is the quality of Chataka Pakshi. So here, the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are also like that. Just like how Chataka Pakshi are very painfully waiting, similarly, the devotees out of pangs of separation, they were also painfully waiting. When will Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come? When will I gain the audience? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, at that time, a news about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival was sent to Navadvip. Because every year, from Navadvipa, devotees would come. Like Yatra, we go. to different holy dham. They go from one holy dham to the other. Shivananda Sen, he is the team leader. He would assemble all the devotees. He would arrange for their accommodation, travel, transport, everything along the way. Prasad, everything. There are many pastimes there also. So when the news was sent, initially, there is a servant of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who accompanied him to South India. His name is Kala Krishna Das. So he was given the service of going to Navadvip and informing everyone. And because he is going to Navadvip, he was also given sufficient amount of Jagannath Mahaprasad. So he carried all the Mahaprasad, first went straight to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's home and informed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mother, Sachimata, about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival. Everyone became jubilant. Then from there, he then goes to Advaita Acharya's home. And then he informs the news. Advaita Acharya becomes ecstatic, jumps up and down, dances. And then all the devotees, Gadadhar Pandit, Srivas, everyone, they become very happy. And everyone decided, yes, we should go to Navadvip. And they have a 3-day festival for that. Just to celebrate the news of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival from South India. And we are going to go to Jagannath Puri. So thinking this way, devotees become very jubilant. And here it is said they had a 3-day festival just to celebrate them going to Jagannath Puri. And at the end of that festival, they made a sankalpa. Yes, now we will go. So this is what had happened. So devotees, after hearing the news, they slowly started to arrive in Jagannath Puri. Meanwhile, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya introduced all the residents who are already there in Jagannath Puri, introducing one after the other, each of those devotees. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, my Lord, here is Janardana. Here is your pure devotee Janardhan. How is he serving Lord Jagannath? He serves Lord Jagannath during Anavasarakala or Navayavana. After Snanayatra for about a fortnight, after Snanayatra, Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Maharani, they become sick. So during that time, their Daru form gets repainted. It's known as Navayavana. So he does that personal service in the temple. So this is Janardana. He introduces. Then he says, my Lord, this is Krishnadas. He carries the golden cane. Whenever Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Maharani, they go on procession, at that time he carries the golden cane as one of his personal servants. Sikhi Mahiti. This is another associate. This section you will come across names of many devotees. You won't remember all of them, but keep hearing. By repeated hearing, one day we'll be able to remember. Suddenly you will hear some devotee getting initiated. I know Sikhi Mahiti Prabhu. I have heard this somewhere. Janardhan Prabhu, yes. Brisbane Temple President, I remember. Like that you will remember some devotees' names. Even these names of the devotees are so powerful that simply hearing their name and chanting their name, one will get Krishna Prema. It's given here. So here, Sikhi Mahiti, who is in charge of writing. So this is his seva. Pradyumna Mishra, he is the chief of Vaishnavas. He is the servitor of Jagannath. And he is addressed by the name Dasa. That's how he calls himself. What's your name? Das. Then Sikhi Mahiti's brother, Murari Mahiti. He knows nothing but your lotus feet. This is how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is introducing each of the devotees. Then Chandaneshwara, Shimmeshwara, Murari Brahmana and Vishnu Dasa, who are constantly meditating on your lotus feet. Paramananda Prahara Raja. Prahara Raja, they are Brahmanas, but they become the caretakers whenever the throne of Puri king becomes vacant. So that is their position. They are also known as Mahapatra. All these pure devotees serve as ornaments to Jagannath Puri. They are always undeviatingly meditating upon your lotus feet. So after he introduces all of them, everyone fell at the lotus feet, one after the other. They were falling at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reciprocated with all of them by embracing each one of them. And then one family of devotees came to meet Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The head of the family, the father of the family is Bhavanandaraya. Bhavanandaraya is the father of Ramanandaraya. Ramanandaraya is Arjuna and Vishaka Shaki in Krishna Lila. So, if Ramanandaraya is one of the sons of Bhavanandaraya, and if Ramanandaraya is Arjuna, then who is Bhavanandaraya? Maharaj Pandu in Krishna Lila. If Bhavanandaraya is Maharaj Pandu and Ramanandaraya is one of his sons Arjun, then there are 4 more sons also, right? They are the ones who are coming. Vaninath, Gopinath, Shuddhanidhi. Here he comes with all of those 5 sons. He says Vaninath, Gopinath, Shuddhanidhi and Kalanidhi. So when Bhavanandaraya comes along with all of the other 4 sons, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately goes and embraces him. Oh Bhavanandaraya, you have been my servant eternally. You are none other than Pandu. Many instances Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would openly tell them who they are. Like to Vasudeva, he says, like, it's no wonder you are feeling so compassionate. After all, you are Prahlad Maharaj. He just tells them directly. Likewise to Advaita Acharya, he says, it's no wonder you are feeling so compassionate for all the fallen conditioned souls. You are after all Sadashiva and Mahavishnu. Like that he says. So here he tells to him, you are after all Maharaj Pandu, and we both are connected lifetime after lifetime. And all of your sons, they are all my devotees. And then he tells him, I had met your eldest son, which is Ramananda Roy. And he would be arriving here in another week or so. When he says this and embraces Bhavananda Roy tells to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my Lord, you are a sannyasi. Just now we saw Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya telling King Prataparudra, he is a very staunch sannyasi. He doesn't associate with people of kingly order, of royal order. But then here you see Bhavananda Roy, his son is Ramananda Roy. Ramananda Roy is a governor. He is also from aristocratic class. But externally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is rejecting when it comes to associating with materialistically minded people. However, bhakti is something that cuts through that boundary, cuts through that restriction of that association, and then allows one to freely associate. So Ramananda Roy, even though he is working as a governor, understanding about his pure and exalted position, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu associated with him freely as a pure devotee of the Lord. So here also Bhavananda Roy says, my Lord, I am a Shudra, I am working with Shudras. Nevertheless, you came and embraced me. This shows that you are none other than Supreme Lord. He is also revealing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's position. And then he says, my whole family, my riches, my life, everything that I have, we surrender to you. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that in Vedic times, people usually take sannyas beyond a certain time in their life. This is needed only for those for whom their materialistic possessions, their relations and everyone is becoming a hindrance for them practicing bhakti. However, if everything is conducive, if one is living in a family of devotees, if the family members are at least favorable and not stopping somebody from practicing bhakti, Prabhupada says then sannyas is redundant. There's no need to give up. When everything is favorable, why give up then? Just to practice it like that. So, surrendering fully everything to Lord Krishna and giving up anything which is material, which is against my bhakti, they both are the same. So focus should be given simply to add Krishna to everything. Prabhupada would often say, Krishna consciousness is very simple. You add Krishna to everything. You want to enjoy, come to the temple, dance, enjoy with Krishna. You want to feast, come to the restaurant, take prasad, feast with Krishna. You want to fight, Don't fight with devotees. Stay in home, don't come. Come when you are feeling a little peaceful. So, anything and everything, we always come to Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. Then, there is no need to give up anything, because everything is already connected. Whole idea of sannyas is to be totally surrendered to Krishna. But if that surrendering has already happened, there is no point to give up. What's the point in giving up? Purpose is already met. So here, Bhavananda Rai's position is like that. Bhavananda Rai is saying, I have offered everything to you. So Prabhupada says, then what's the point in having sannyas? There is no need for sannyas here. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, when Bhavananda Rai says, my Lord, everything which I have belongs to you. And he says, one of my sons, Vaninath, he would stay here and he would be your servant, please accept. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I accept. Birth after birth, you have been my servant along with your family. Ramananda Roy is coming in 5 to 7 days and my desires will be fulfilled in his company. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this. The Lord embraced Bhavananda Roy and then touched the heads of his sons with his lotus feet. Vedic way of blessing. The Lord then sent Bhavananda Roy back and kept only Vaninath Pattanayaka in his personal service. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejects Kala Krishna Das. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went on South Indian tour, he had a personal servant by name Kala Krishna Das. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan, going past Jarikanda forest, going to Kashi, everywhere, at that time he had a servant, his name is Balabhadra Bhattacharya. You may not see in any of the artwork here. In places where, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in some artwork you can see, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was crossing Jarikanda forest, at that time he told all the tigers, chant. Then all the tigers started to dance, chant. They start to embrace all the deers. Likewise, elephants they also started to chant and dance. This whole incident was witnessed by Balabhadra Bhattacharya. You will see one personality hiding behind the tree and watching. That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's servant. That's Balabhadra Bhattacharya. For North Indian tour. For South Indian tour, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had another servant. His name is Kala Krishna Das. Kala Krishna Das, unfortunately, when he comes one place in South India, he gets attracted to a group of gypsies. Nomadic people. They don't stay in one place. They just freely mingle, men and women. He got attracted to that crowd, enamored by the women, and he started to go with them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he saw in this way getting distracted, taking compassion upon him, he goes. And then he tells to those group of people, they are known as Bhattadaris. He says, I am a mendicant, I am taking him as my servant. Why are you pulling him away? At that time, they get very upset. They picked up the weapons ready to attack Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. At that time, the weapons flew out of their hands and started to chop their own hands. And when they saw their own weapons flying up in the air and starting to attack, they got scared and they ran away. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then pulls Kala Krishna Das again back to his position as traveling servant. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continues the whole visit, comes back. When he arrives in Jagannath Puri, at that time, now he rejects Kala Krishna Das. He says, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then asked all the people to leave. Afterward, Lord called for Kala Krishna Das and he tells. So Kala Krishna Das, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu calls, he comes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, keeping him as the secondary audience, he tells to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He is telling to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, my dear Bhattacharya, just consider the character of this man. He left my company to associate with the Bhattadaris, but I rescued him and brought him here. I am asking him to go wherever he likes, for I am no longer responsible for him. In other words, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, I can't take responsibility for him anymore. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejects him this way, Kala Krishna Das become broken-hearted. And he cries. When the Lord rejects, he is Namo Mahavadanyaya, most merciful Lord. Prabhupada, when he opened the very first temple in New York, one day Prabhupada comes and he sees the temple room being very nicely decorated by the hippies. And then as Prabhupada walks and he says, wow, Krishna has given you nice intelligence. So you are doing nice service for Krishna. And as Prabhupada is walking in, at one point he sees big form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sadbhuja Gauranga. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in six-handed form, simultaneously demonstrating that he is Lord Ram, Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. Two hands had Danda and Kamandalu. Two hands was playing flute. Other two hands was holding bow and arrow. So bow and arrow is Lord Ram, playing flute is Krishna, and the Danda and the Kamandalu is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Prabhupada looks at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's form as Sadbhuja Gauranga. Sad means six, Bhuja, his arms, six-armed Gauranga. When he sees, Prabhupada says, now Lord Chaitanya is here. No more nonsense. He looks at the hippies and he says, no more nonsense, like that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is merciful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also strict. Because we have to follow the rules and regulations properly. So as a teacher, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing the way. He is very merciful. But listen to this, it doesn't stop there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejects him. Now Kala Krishna Das is crestfallen, broken-hearted, cries. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself rejects. Where will I go now? So he is sobbing and he goes to take the shelter of who? Nityananda Prabhu. And then Nityananda Prabhu speaks to the other Vaishnavas and then he comes and he tells to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my Lord, you have come here after 6 years of your South Indian tour. Mahaprabhu says, yes. We need to send someone to Navadvip Dham carrying this news. Yes. We have found one person who is perfect fit for that role. Are you okay for it? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, knowing very well what's in the heart of Nityananda Prabhu, he says, whoever you choose, it's fine. Approved by me. Then yes. And then he goes and tells the news to Kala Krishna Das. In this way, Prabhupada says, even if the Lord rejects someone, the devotees are more merciful. And they will bring whoever who is actually falling away back in the shelter of the Lord. But if we fight with the devotees, what can be done? So we have to be very, very careful. Many instances. In one instance, there is one close associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His name is Mukunda Datta. Mukunda Datta is a very warm personality. He'll go make friends with anyone, including Mayavadis. So once one Mayavadi invited him, I am having a katha, you please come. He says, okay, no problem. And he was giving all Mayavadi philosophy. Mukunda Datta was also sitting and hearing in the group. When the news comes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I don't want to see Mukunda Datta anymore. Tell him he can't see me. So then they come and tell to Mukunda Datta. Mukunda Datta, really sorry to break open this news, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that he doesn't want to associate with you anymore. Then Mukunda Datta is a little upset and then he tells to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or rather to the associates, can you please check with Mahaprabhu, when can I meet him? Then they come back again, Mukunda Datta is very upset that he can't meet you. Can you please tell when he'll get a chance again to see you? So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, not for a million birds. They come and tell the same news to Mukunda Datta. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that you can't see him for a million birds. When somebody tells you that, you'll be like, what? You'll cry, right? But Mukunda Datta jumps up in jubilation and becomes ecstatic and he chants, Hari Bol, Gauranga, Gauranga. Who can be more merciful than Gauranga? Now devotees get confused and they immediately run to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and tell him, my Lord, we told him the news, but rather than becoming sad, now he is very ecstatic. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, all right, call him back. And when they ask Mukunda Datta, why are you jumping up and down? He says, my Lord said, he didn't reject me completely. He said, after million births I can see him. That's all matters. Million births I can wait. And then when he comes, he tells something, he offers words of glorification to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You will come across two words in Bhagavatam. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divya Stavai. Vedeshanga Padakrama Upanishader Gayanti Yamsa Maga Dhyana Vastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogina Yasyantam Navidu Sura Asuragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. This is in 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, concluding prayers of Srimad Bhagavatam. Stunvanti Divya Stavai. Stuti means something that is spoken about the Lord in praise. Like Garbha Stuti, you come across. When Mother Devaki was carrying Krishna in her womb, at that time, Devatas, they come. Can sit down, bro. Okay. You can sit in the chair. Okay. When Krishna was carried by Mother Devaki in her womb, at that time, all the Devatas, they come and they offer prayers of glorification to baby Krishna, who is still within the womb. That's prayers are known as Garbha Stuti. Stuti means that which is sung or spoken in praise. Stunvanti Divya Stavai. Stava means prayers. Stavamala, Radhika Stava, we come across. Stava means prayers, Stuti means praise. So here he glorifies Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and says, my Lord, what is the use of physical proximity? Even the demons went and met Krishna every single day. Kamsa has seen Krishna. Putana saw Krishna. Trinavarta, Shakatashura, Akashura, Agashura, you name it, Bakashura. So many of them they saw, but even seeing doesn't make them devotees. They were still demoniac. It's a very, very important point. Prabhupada says Vrindavan is a state of consciousness. If we carry that state, no matter where you are, you can still feel that we are in Vrindavan. On the other hand, if we carry the demoniac mentality, even you can be in Vrindavan, but we are no better than demons. So it's a very, very important lesson. So here, Kala Krishnadas, even though he was rejected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he took shelter of the devotees, especially of Nityananda Prabhu, he was able to be reinstated in the service. In many places you will see, in Caitanya Caritamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavata, you go and offer prayer to Nityananda Prabhu would say, Bhaja Gaurango, Kaha Gaurango, Laha Gaurangera Namare, Jajana Gaurango, Bhaje Seho Amar Pranare. Whoever worships Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are my life and soul. Nityananda Prabhu would say like that. But then you go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you know what he would say? Whoever worships my Nitai, I become their property. You go to Nitai asks you to worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and worship, he says, whoever worships my Nitai, I become their property. He would send you back to Nityananda Prabhu. This is how these two transcendental brothers work. So we have to worship both of them to get their favor. So here Kala Krishnadas, because of that he is reinstated in the service. So Kala Krishnadas then goes to different devotees' homes in Bengal. So next section discusses about Kala Krishnadas's visit to Navadvip. Kala Krishnadas went to Navadvip to see Sachi Mata, offered her obeisances, delivered Mahaprasad and informed her of Lord Chaitanya's return from South India. Imagine, for 6 years, devotees haven't heard any news about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How eagerly they must have been waiting. And finally, Kala Krishnadas comes and delivers the news. They would have felt this person must be the most closest associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, correct? If somebody carries such a great news. This is the position of those even fallen souls. Like in this case, you see as part of the Leela, even if somebody is in the most fallen condition, if one takes shelter of the devotees, they can be put in the topmost condition. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Sri Gurundinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Mukam karoti vachalam. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even a lame person can climb up the mountain. A dumb person will become a greatest orator. How? If one takes shelter of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's what it means. So it's very, very important that whenever we study philosophy about Krishna consciousness, that we understand what is the right prescription, how to follow this philosophy. The more we take shelter of Krishna's devotees, more safe we are. Because this is the blessing which Krishna himself desires. When Pandavas, they go in exile to the forest, by then Yudhishthira Maharaj had already performed Rajasuya sacrifice, established Krishna's supreme position, established that devotees are also blessed with a lot of opulence. Whoever worships Krishna, they will also get spiritual riches as well as material rich. So he established everything. The gambling match happens after that. Pandavas lose the kingdom. Pandavas are sent to forest. At that time, Duryodhan comes up with a brilliant idea, spurred by Karna and Shakuni. He says, I will also now perform Rajasuya sacrifice so that my fame will also be known throughout the whole world. So he calls all the Brahmanas and he puts forth this proposal. Now that I am the king of the whole world, I would like to perform Rajasuya sacrifice. What do you think? The chief of the Brahmana priests says, bad idea. Then Duryodhana says, why? I have enough riches. He says, my dear king, in order to do Rajasuya sacrifice, there are two criteria. One is, when one wants to do Rajasuya sacrifice, at that time, no one else who had already done Rajasuya sacrifice must be alive. At any point of time, there can be only one person who had done Rajasuya sacrifice. In this case, it's not possible for you because Yudhishthira Maharaj has already performed, he is still around. Point number one. Point number two, or condition number two is, Rajasuya sacrifice can be performed only by one whose father has already passed away. In your case, that is also not possible because your father is still alive. Then he says, well, I have all these riches, I want to do something, please suggest something. Then they discuss amongst themselves and they say, we will tell you something which is more glorious, or rather equally glorious. If you are thinking about any other yajna which is anywhere closer, there is one more. And that is, you can do Vaishnava yajna. Doing this yajna is so difficult, it had been performed by only one person so far. Duryodhana eagerly asks, who is that? None other than the immortal Lord Vishnu himself. Vishnu performed this yajna once. What yajna is that? Vaishnava yajna. Whole world worships Vishnu. Vishnu is worshipping his own devotees. Eme bhakta janapartha, name bhakta chate janaha, madbhakta nam chaye bhakta, steme bhakta tamo mataha. Krishna says to Arjuna in Adi Puran, oh my dear Arjuna, those who claim themselves to be my devotee, they are not my devotee. But those who say they are the devotee of my devotee, they are actually my devotee. Many places you will come across to Durvasa Muni, he says, aham bhakta paradino hi asvatantra ivadvija sadhubir grasta hridayo bhakter bhakta janapriyaha. He says, aham bhakta paradino, I am not independent. People call me Swarat, but I am actually not Swarat. Supreme Lord is always, Krishna is always full of paradoxes. Fear personified will be scared of him. Krishna is scared of Mother Yashoda's stick. Krishna is known as Mukunda, one who is liberating everyone, but Krishna himself is bound to a grinding mortar. In fact, after he liberates Manikriv and Nalakuver, they offer beautiful prayers, circumambulate him, and they go, baby Krishna is still looking. I liberated you. Who will liberate me? Like that. This is baby Krishna. His mood is like that. So here, Vishnu says, people say that I am Swarat, but actually I am totally dependent. Aham bhakta paradino, he aswatantra. Swatantra means independence. Aswatantra means dependent. He aswatantra iva dvija. Oh great Brahmana, Durvasa, I am actually aswatantra. I am not independent. Sadhubir grasta hridayo. I live in the heart of my devotees. What to speak of my devotees? Bhakter Bhakta Jana Priya means even those who are related to my devotees, I am dependent on them. This is how much Krishna himself is putting his position as. When Yudhishthir Maharaj performed Rajasuya sacrifice, at that time, Yudhishthir Maharaj handed over different responsibilities to great personalities. To Duryodhan, he told him, please take care of the gifts department. Whatever gifts that I get, arrange them. But the description in Mahabharata says, Yudhishthir Maharaj got so much gifts, at some point they ran out of space, they have to turn away the gifts. Sorry, I had no space. And he had to turn. That's how much he received. Likewise, he assigned one personality for prasadam distribution. I think Dushasan. Likewise, he assigns Vidura for overseeing. Krishna at that time, he puts his hand up and he says, I'm eager to get the blessings of the Brahmanas. Please allow me to welcome the Brahmanas, wash their feet, wipe it with a nice towel, garland them and worship them. Yudhishthir Maharaj agreed. That's the service Krishna himself took. So here we see our philosophy, our process means that we practice bhakti. Bhakti is processed only in the association and with the blessings of devotees. So it's very, very important. There is no place for bhajananandis in bhakti. We are all Goshtianandis. Goshtianandis means whatever we do it together. Going to secluded place in some holy dham, sitting and meditating, Prabhupada didn't approve that, nor did Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He says people do that just for cheap adoration. Many people try, but nobody can keep up. Even if you do, what's so big deal about it? What is greater deal is, if you can make your life perfect and make other people's life perfect, that is greatest. Otherwise, surviving oneself, that is there. Anyway, it will be taken care. It's not something one has to go through so much endeavor. What's the goal of your life? To take care of myself. It's exactly same as, what's your job? Searching for job is my job. What are you doing? I'm searching for job. That's my job. It's like that. So whatever little that we can, we should do some paropakar. Something which is beneficial for others. Krishna says, pointing at the trees in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that just look at these trees, they're always helpful. Similarly, whoever who is born in human life also need to help others. How? Praner, arther, diya, vacha. One should use their life, time, arther, one should use whatever wealth they have. Diya, one's intelligence. Vacha, one should use one's words. In this way, in one or all of these four ways, one should be of some use to others. Otherwise, if mood is just to take, we take, and then Prabhupada says, quoting Krishna, Krishna says, if you keep on taking something without giving, then you are a thief. Once one businessman comes to Prabhupada, he has this big glass factories. So Prabhupada asks him, okay, so you took everything from Krishna, and he gets like, did I take everything from Krishna? Prabhupada says, yeah. Where did you get the silica from? Oh, silica is everywhere, Swamiji. Prabhupada says, yeah, but where did the sand come from? From Krishna. That's why I called you are also a thief. So give something for service of Krishna. and he gives. So, bhakti, when we perform, we should understand it is meant to be practiced together. It's not something that is done in seclusion. Seclusion means we are with our mind. We become victims of our mind. Mind will always pull us down. So mood should always be to serve. So here, this is one lesson we can see repeatedly being emphasized in Caitanya Caritamrita. Caitanya Caritamrita, you will see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so many associates, is always surrounded, always talking about Krishna, always doing Harinam, always serving the devotees prasad. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself will arrange for rooms sometimes. Sometimes he would give service to one devotee. Like about Shivananda Sen, he says that he is always very blissful. As a grahastha, he may not actually manage his family affairs properly in terms of finances. You please take care. Like that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. So everything is involved, not just me. A tree would lead a much more meaningful life than one who is selfish. So we have to be very, very mindful there. So Kala Krishnadas, because of him taking shelter of all the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, despite his shortcoming, despite him being rejected by Lord Chaitanya himself, he was reinstated back into the service, exalted service. Going and breaking open the news. In those days, if a king is blessed with a baby, there would be fight among the servants. No, I would go and tell the king. No, I would. Why? Whoever goes to the king and tells the news, they will be abundantly rewarded. That is the position the devotees headed by Nityananda Prabhu had bestowed upon Kala Krishnadas, who not long ago was actually rejected. This is the position. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim. Yat kripa, by mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, anything is possible. So they all, now the list is given. Krishnadas, after sharing the news with Sachi Mata and all the devotees headed by Srivas Thakur, he then went to Advaita Acharya and he informed him of the news. In ecstasy of love, Advaita danced and chanted for a long time. This also we will see. When Vidura, after going to different places of pilgrimage, he comes to know about the conclusion or the outcome of Kurukshetra war. Continues, and at one point he meets Uddhava. He greets Uddhava and then he asks about well-being of everyone, including Krishna. He says, how is Krishna and Balaram? Uddhava goes to ecstasy for one muhurta. A day is divided into 30 muhurtas. Each muhurta is about 48 minutes. He asks a question, he goes into ecstasy for 48 minutes. If you are in the position, what would you do? Hey, tell me. No, Vidura is in that exalted position. Vidura also could understand what he is going through. Vidura is patiently waiting. One question he asks, after 48 minutes he comes back to external consciousness and he is answering from that ecstasy. So here it is said, similarly in ecstasy of love, Advaita danced and chanted for a long time. All other devotees headed by Haridas Thakur, Vasudev Datta, Murari Gupta, Shivananda Sena, Acharya Ratna, Vakreshwar Pandit, Acharya Nidhi, Gadadhar Pandit, Sriram Pandita, Damodar Pandita, Sriman Pandita, Vijaya, Sridhara, Raghava Pandita, Nandan Acharya became very pleased. Even these names of devotees is so purifying. And they all depart for Puri. They all gathered together at the house of Advaita Acharya, who then held a festival that lasted 3 days. At the end of the festival, they all made a firm decision, all right, we are all going to Puri. Then why did you have the festival there? But this is Keval Ananda Kanda. Devotees always are ecstatic. So they had a festival to make a conviction, all right, let's go for Puri. And then at the end of the festival, they are all meeting together at Navadvip and taking blessings of Sachi Mata. Now they are departing for Niladri. The inhabitants of Kulina Grama, we will see pastimes of Kulina Gramavasis, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorifying them. Later, Satyaraj Khan, Ramananda and others, as well as from Kanda, Mukunda, Narahari, Raghunandan and others. They all joined Advaita Acharya to accompany him to Jagannath Puri. So now this big horde of devotees from Navadvip, they are getting ready to go to Jagannath Puri. So this is how this section finishes. In the next class, we'll discuss about Paramananda Puri and Swarup Damodar. Paramananda Puri is Uddhava in Krishna Lila, and Swarup Damodar is Lalita Saki. Swarup Damodar is also one of the intimate childhood friends of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he would also come and join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for good. He will always stay with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, Swarup Damodar also, I will also take sannyas. Out of dejection, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left. I also reject this world. So he goes and then he takes permission from Guru. Okay, I want to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His Guru says, all right. Then he leaves Varanasi, goes back to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again. So we'll see the sweet pastime next week. We'll stop here. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki Jai, Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Marani ki Jai, Sri Sri Gauranitai ki Jai, Sri Caitanya Caritamrita ki Jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.